Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Unmixed and Unmastered episode. Oh no, I'm forgetting. Uh, Probably 13, 14,
I
probably
think it's 13. 13 or
13.
14, yeah.
And yeah, I'm here with Axel. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello. Yeah. Uh, my name is Axel. Um, I met this lovely individual at a video game tournament where he like dummied me, and we're gonna talk about uh one of my favorite artists. Um, Huge fan of like this project, him in general. Um, I've been wanting to talk about this with somebody for a while, like in general, just like on some sort of platform. So it's cool that we're doing this. And yeah,
And so you chose Mista Thug Isolation by Lil Ugly Mane. Delighted by your
hmm
choice. It's a good one. And yeah, how did you discover them? Or him, I guess.
uh,
He's one guy.
so actually I didn't like necessarily discover this album on my own. At a I was at a gathering with my friend, and we were both very under the influence per se, and we were talking about music. Like we were talking about Earl Sweatshirt at the time.
Mm.
My friend Carter, if he's watching this, he'll know. Um, and then he like put on a Little Ugly Man song, like just on the speaker. I think it was Throw Them Guns he put on, and then I like listened to the production and I was like, bro, holy, like it was one of the craziest things I've ever heard. And then I just kind of like deep dove into his stuff after that. Uh, I this is like I this is probably like some of the highest minutes I have on an album. Uh, and I just like it really intrigued me because it's so like unique for a rap project. And when I first ran into it, I like couldn't stop listening to it.
So it's safe to say that this is your favorite album of all time, or it's close.
Yeah, I would say it's like in my top five for sure. Because like in rap, it's like my second favorite. Like my because my favorite album is an Earl Sweatshirt album, but it just like has number one from nostalgia. But if nostalgia wasn't a
Um.
factor, this would just straight up probably be my
Oh
favorite
wait,
rap
what's your
album.
what Earl Sweatshirt album? Because I like him. He's good.
Uh, I don't like shit. I don't go outside is my favorite.
That's an underrated one. I love some rap songs. That's my favorite.
Dude, yeah, I love that album too. It's super good.
Yeah.
That that album in particular, actually, it took me like when it first came out, I did not mess with it because I was like super hyped on like when Earl's like rapping and stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
traditionally. But as I listened more and like I actually started to hear the soundscape and stuff, it like I really
Mm.
started to enjoy it.
Yeah, and so yeah, my introduction to Lil Ugly Mane was it's kind of like really passively or passive because what as you said we play this game called Melee, Super Smash Bros. Melee. And
hmm
in like 2021 and 2023, I probably I did not really listen to like albums really. I only listened to like songs, and hip hop was like is a genre that like I just listen to when, you know, I'm focused on other things because it's really,
hmm
good, right? And
Yeah.
one of the songs it's the second one, right? It's uh wait, hold on. It should be here somewhere. It's serious, shit. and,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I just like, bump that a lot and on my way to school and stuff. So that's kind of
Yeah.
my
Mhm.
introduction to him. And yeah. Um so to introduce who we're talking about, his real name is Travis Miller, and he actually really wasn't involved in hip hop really at the time. Like he had some like projects, but primarily he was like very he had like uh punk and like experimental stuff like floating around at the time in the
Mhm.
2000s, and it really like and then he got into hip hop through it says here Space Ghost Perp. he appears on that 2011 mixtape. So that's kind of his
Mhm.
start. I think he was connected to the collective that Space Ghost Perp and
Yeah, Raider
Denzel.
Clan. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think he was a part
Mhm.
of it. He was just around the circle.
No. Yeah, he wasn't a part of it. That's sort of like I'm sure we're gonna get into it, but like him being associated with that group is kind of like what led like the whole flow chart of like different influences he had across like the more like internet space of rap, and I think that that's pretty cool.
Mm. And yeah, do you know anything about his like personal life, or because he doesn't really have a lot in there.
I know that's yeah, I know. I tried to like find some stuff. Like I said, you can only really find stuff about him like by proxy for other rappers for the most part and like other musicians that have talked about him, but um I know for the most part he has always been like influenced by music and like different out there cultures. Like you said, punk. Like you can actually hear like a lot of different weird sounds in a lot of his different tracks. Out more so outside of this like album, but you know what I mean? Like in Oblivion Access, you can hear
Yeah, like
more
the
of like the punk
noise.
influence and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Um, but yeah, to my knowledge, like yeah, I'm pretty sure I would assume it's sort of like the Aesop rock where he just like had a pretty average life. You know, he got into like different substances and stuff, which led to like different like troubles with his mental, and then he sort of put all of that into his music in multiple different ways. But
Mm. Yeah,
yeah,
cause yeah, I'm pretty sure that's like the exact like Travis Miller like he got like addicted to drugs after um this album maybe around that time. I'm not sure.
mhm. I know that because he's quite old like for a musician like that makes this sort of music, and like I know at the time he had already kind of been through some of the motions with like substance abuse and stuff, and I know he like it became an issue again after that album, which is like when all of the like depression sound music started to be made and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you said like by proxy, like they
Dude, I forgot about this tweet. I forgot about this tweet, dude.
yeah, and we were trying to find another picture of him with Denzel Curry. Um the one where he looks
Yeah.
really really old, but couldn't find it.
Yeah. I
And yeah,
couldn't find it. I tried.
so he has like a lot of like cosigns from, other people and stuff. Even outside of like hip hop, like King Cruel and those
Yeah.
types of
Yeah.
people.
I just want to say like you can super hear the like King Cruel like like it's one of those situations where you can tell that two artists like each other
Mm.
because like I feel like a lot of King Cruel stuff is very like when he makes melodies with guitars, they're very like it's
Uh,
like as distorted as they can be while still being like tangible. And I feel like that's kind of also the sort of like style or like approach Lil Ugly
you're
Mane
saying
takes
like
with like
the like production like choices like kind of
yes, yeah, I think that they're like pretty adjacent in a lot
yeah,
of
no,
ways.
I would agree with that. Kind of
Yeah.
yeah. It feels like both of them like especially the first King Cruel album felt like that. Like home recording.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Oh, that's a
Yeah.
killer album actually.
Love that one. I think we
Yeah,
were
I
supposed
love
to talk
King
about
Cruel.
King Cruel, but didn't really come
Yeah,
up.
we
Or with some other people, they wanted to do it. But yeah, so going into like his mainly like Lil Ugly Mane, he he has four studio albums. Have you heard the first one? Play a Circle? Because
Yes,
I couldn't find that one.
I'm not as familiar with it. I heard recordings of it, but I never like actually listened to it. If you give me a second, I can actually probably yeah, I can't exactly find the album, but there are like some songs here and there. Like I'll just send one to you on the fast. Or like I'll put it in the music
You want me to play it?
You can if you want. This is like one of the songs from Play a Circle. It's kind of hard, like you said. It's really hard to like find the whole album because he didn't. It's not like
Yeah, it was self-released, right?
yeah, it was yeah. Like even like it didn't even like make it to like I don't even know if it came out on SoundCloud or
My name
initially
is
or
Kirsten
anything.
Penalosa.
Yeah, see it. Oh wait. Oh, it was
Grammarly
distributed.
helps me be a better communicator.
Wow. Wait, what's going on? I have to turn off my audio. Never mind. So here's like a quick sample. We'll play like a minute.
Yeah. I'm down. Dude, this is. I just have to say, this is so Memphis-y.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we can talk over it. Like, I mean, wasn't he like influenced by like Memphis Rap, like 3-6 Mafia, stuff like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he actually made Mista Thug Isolation in a time where Memphis style was kind of starting to die out a bit.
Oh.
And yeah, and I'll talk more about that after, but he didn't exactly like revive it per se, but he was like he sort of allowed it to stay relevant through internet culture.
Hmm. You're all.
Man, this is so gross. Like, it's so good.
Yeah, I mean, I really like his like, you know, it's cool that he's like influenced by noise, like especially on Oblivion Access, like you can hear that, but like it's just like the choices he makes are really like interesting, especially in like a hip hop context.
Yeah.
Here, and we'll fade it out. Boom. That was not really a fade out, but yeah. Anyways.
A for effort.
Yeah, and so wait, what were we talking about? Well, I can actually.
I was talking about before how, like, just it's like the relevance with Memphis style and stuff.
Yeah, and yeah, because this project like it kept it relevant, but not many people like talked about it when it came out. Like I saw like the critical reception here, where there's really only one like what do you call it, like magazine like covered it, and it was Pitchfork, and so it was kind of like overlooked but because of the internet, right? It like it like was popular around those internet circles, so yeah.
See, I personally like, I actually love it so much because it's like an album that sort of everybody like has heard at least a bit of it, but you like nobody could really recall it because like it got popular. Like I guess more like a way you could phrase it is like it got like shared through a bunch of different internet spaces, like in a bunch of different ways, like through like memes. Then there were like music boards, and then there were people that would like meme his aliases and stuff, and like yeah, he's like Lil B in that way, you know what like he just kind of seeped through like the different layers of the internet,
and he created his like own like space where and that was like, when was this, like 2012? Like this is like probably like,
yeah,
like,
it was
really
like right around
early, like
2012.
People weren't really like used to like how the internet worked at that time, so it was like it's cool to see like people, you know, developing their own spaces for these things. And yeah,
I think it just like, it's the fact that like, because like nowadays, but like compared to when this was popular, I think it's pretty like, if something is like well agreed upon that's good on the internet, it kind of just like goes it's sort of like pretty straight, like it kind of rises to the top pretty like immediately, you know what I mean, with like how relevant social media is and stuff. But
yeah,
back then it was like way more abstract in that way, and it's like,
yeah, like you only got like what you downloaded.
yeah, exactly. And like even now, like there are tons of songs that get popular through like different edits or like just
TikTok.
different like, yeah, like various forms of video media and stuff. But at the time it was kind of just like so many people of so many different spaces liked this album, so it just went through like so many different parts of the internet,
Mm.
and like I think it reached so many people without trying to, which I like personally love about it so much.
Yeah, and you said like that even if you haven't like you don't really like know about it, like you've heard it before like in like
Hmm.
sparse like things like and this is like a 20-second or 20 song like album or mixtape. I don't know.
Hmm.
I think it's an album, right? Yeah,
Yeah, I would classify it as an album. Yeah.
and like how do you think it like flows now with like now that the internet like we have all the songs now and like kind of like how do you think that flows together in a 20 song album?
I think it in terms of it like holding up, if that's what you mean, like
Kind of, yeah.
for the music itself, like I still think it's like incredible. Like I don't think like I a way I'd put it is like I appreciated it when I first discovered it around 2020 to 2021, more so for the like actual sound of the music, like the production style and stuff is like what caused me to enjoy it. But like around the time we started talking about doing this podcast, I started listening to it more. I started actually liking it even more because I noticed like so many different like things about the album. Like it's very layered, and a lot of that is like kind of hidden in a way. Like a lot of the album is like based around irony, and you can kind of perceive a lot of the content in a lot of different ways. Like you can kind of like I feel like you can kind of perceive his music as straight up horrorcore, like just like violent or like
Yeah.
uncomfortable imagery. Uh and you can also take that as like um irony in the sense of like he okay, so an example I'll use for
Yeah.
this is like, you know, hoish ass bitch, like that song.
Hmm.
That song is like essentially um a mockery of that style of rap, like rappers that like frame women in like more grotesque ways and like
Yeah.
rap about careless stuff. Like he's essentially mocking that style while also being like, okay, I'm also going to just rap in this style and like flex how good I am at the same time.
Mm.
Well, and it like a lot of the lyrics like are kind of like almost scapegoaty in a way because they're like phrased in straightforward like violent ways. Almost like a lot of the lyrics are like pretty insane, like
Yeah, like I feel
but
like you're saying like it's like really like extreme or like played up almost.
yeah, like but really like the goal with a lot of it is kind of to like give you like put imagery in your head, you could say. But it's he really uses these lyrics to also talk about his mental struggles. Like he talks about there's like a line he uses where he talks about like getting used to the smell of bodies, which is like you
Well.
can look at that in sort of like a horrorcore, like you're playing like a murderer killer character sort
Mm-hmm.
of way. But you can also look at that as like this guy has like maybe this guy has vices, or maybe this guy has like regrets, and like maybe he's like used to his suffering, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like
And I really like the different emotional parallels and stuff that
mm.
happen throughout the album.
Yeah, and I feel like in the newer albums like he definitely like instead of like twisting it like that, like he kind of goes head on and like kind of like talks about specifically like the things that he's like feeling instead of like hiding
Hmm.
it in like a horrorcore like way, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would also use like Bedwetter as a perfect example of it.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
like Bedwetter is just like he's sad and he's like telling you he's sad. Like, you know what I mean?
Not like
Like,
there's no like window. It's like
yeah.
straight to you.
Like it's not like something that's up for interpretation, whereas like this album there's like so much on every song that you can interpret differently.
Mm.
But
And
they're like meant to do different things. But I love Bedwetter very much.
yeah, what do you think about actually we'll get into that. You want to play a song maybe?
Ooh, I'm down to play a song for sure.
Because you chose two
I
here.
did choose to.
And
Um,
I queued in Throw Them Guns first.
mhm.
And
and yeah,
can you
this is
explain
the
it?
first song I
Hey,
ever
why?
listened to.
Yeah, can you explain why? This
Yeah,
one?
so this song is like this is like probably the most like memorable one on the track because this one truly like popped off streaming wise compared to the other ones. Like it was one of those more like if you like the couple people that I've talked to that like know him like off of the bat like have mentioned this song sort of thing.
Mm.
It's also the first one that I ever listened to. I think it's really iconic and like I just think I just think his style with the strings on this album, like on this song, like in the production, are like next level good. To be honest, like I think they're so ahead of its time.
Yeah. All right, you want to play it?
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down.
Let's do it.
Yeah, motherfucker. Lil Ugly Mane, bitch. What's up? Coming you with that real.
It's just so clean. It's just so clean, man.
Yeah, I like the strings. They're good.
Switch to the slums where I'm from. Yeah, I'm getting dumb. Yeah, I'm feeling numb. When that herb fill up in my lungs. My swagger active foul, blacking out. Roofie up my absinthe in the club before I stagger out. Never died, rather take the ladder out. Take the ladder out. Rope around my neck and kick the ladder out. There's no
Whoa.
need to drag it out. 28 grams, gotta bag them out. Standing in the rain, feeling bad about the mamas losing jobs over the rocks that I'll be passing out in vast amounts. Fast as I can trash an ounce, the first to come, the last to bounce. Counting pen, just put the block into a frenzy. The Glock is my appendage, I will pop you out the Bentley. Never catch a player acting friendly. Talking to the devil like he sent me. Boy, if you got big guns, throw them up. Break that hoe, split that Dutch. Stick them up, bitch, stick them up. We don't give a fuck. Got some scribbles, let them know. Stack your money, sniff that blow. Tell me how that pussy hitting, bitch. You know I keeps it low. If you got big guns, throw them up. Break that hoe, split that Dutch. Stick them up, bitch, stick them up. We don't give a fuck. Got some scribble, let them know. Stack your money, sniff that blow. Tell me how that pussy hitting, bitch. You know I keeps it low. Yeah, motherfucker. Sitting on that rail, you heard me? Street music. Lil Ugly Mane, 2012, you heard me? Fuck all y'all hoes, bitch.
All right. Yeah, and
Man, that song is good.
yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, let's talk about more like the production. Like I mean this one is like or this album like whole album like production is like really like because there's like this genre or like no, I guess it has existed for a long time, but it gained like a resurgence on TikTok. It's called like Phonk or whatever. You know what I'm talking
Mhm.
about?
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is like or that song that we just played was like necessarily like a really like the funkiest song or whatever. But there's like definitely like songs where it like that it literally like is that, and I think he name drops Phonk in one of the songs.
Yeah, I can't off the top of my head. I forget.
It's like one of the first ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's like the third or fourth track. Yeah, his production, like he's probably like my favorite producer, I would say. Like he's really up there. Or I guess more so like artist producer, because there are like Jay Dilla is probably like my favorite producer, but like when you have an artist that can just like be this like creatively intuitive with his production while also doing crazy stuff on the mic, it's just like it's so like respectable.
I feel that same way with JPEG Mafia. I think they're like contemporaries in that they're they both self-produce their own stuff, and they're just like really good at doing what they do. Right.
Yeah, there are like a lot of my favorite rappers are actually that way, like Earl Sweatshirt, like Mac Miller, like Tyler the Creator, even you know Kanye West. We don't want, you hate to say it, but
I mean it's true. I mean the production on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is insane.
That's a whole nother like beast of a topic. Kanye's production.
Yeah, and what like let's see, where can we go with this? So yeah, and so we said like it's like this album is 12 years old, and you said that it has held up well in your opinion.
In my opinion,
yeah. And I think because it like, who do you think is like inspired by, like specifically inspired by Travis Miller's work?
Well, I think one huge like influence was not influence, but the fact that he worked with Denzel Curry so much got him a lot of sort of credit in that space.
No, wait.
Sorry, but probably the most prevalent one in terms of like a mainstream one is like the Suicide Boys. Like they've even talked about, and like the influence is pretty clear, like in their earlier works, like they're like pretty indebted to Mr. Thug Isolation. I don't know if I'm sure you're familiar with like Xavier Wolf, but like him and Hollow Squad, like Bones and Team Sesh.
I'm not really. I don't really know. I'm familiar with that name. I don't have an idea of what they sound like though.
They're pretty good. I'll have to show you some stuff, but it's more like cloud rap, like Xavier Wolf, more cloud rap.
And this has like a bunch of like cloud rap influences in it, right?
Yeah, and where I was sort of going, where I was trying to go with earlier when I mentioned like how his influence kind of like seeped through the different like states of the internet, is like even like you even listen to like JPEG Mafia, and it's like there are a lot of like aspects of his production, like I think of what's the song? I can't remember. It's a JPEG but like just in general, like the noise aspects of his production.
Yeah, I mean,
and, like, the way he chops up like his beats are like insane. Like the way he chops up samples, not beats, samples is pretty crazy. Even like Earl Sweatshirt and just like the lo-fi experimental rap scene, like I feel like he did so much for those different scenes. Just like in a rap cult way, and also in like with JPEG, it's more so like when I think of JPEG being influenced by him indirectly, I mostly think about the aspect of like not being afraid to like troll your audience or like rip up genre lines, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, because
like there are a lot.
That new JPEG Mafia, or the one that came out in 2023, was like there's like a lot of like metal and like rap rock, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking of Baby I'm Bleeding. That's what I was talking. That's the song I was
Yeah,
thinking of.
even on the one he did with Danny Brown, the collaboration, that one song Lean Beef
Oh,
Patty with the samples. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I
And that's sort of what I mean, you know, because you can't exactly say where something came from without like a direct reference, but when you compare the two, it's like that style only popped out like moderately after Lil Ugly Mane started dropping like this style of music. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, I
Like
know what you mean.
there was nothing before that album that sounded like anything that came after that album, and I feel like it's just pretty telling in that way.
Mm. Yeah, I mean definitely, right? I
Yeah, and
oh, go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say like, there are a lot of people like who like speculate this sort of thing that like draw those correlations as well, and I just think it's kind of undeniable. Like I think he has
Yeah.
done so much for rap because at it's a trap album objectively, but you can also look at it as like a cloud rap album or like a lo-fi rap album. You know what I mean? Or like a horrorcore album. Like it just like does so much. And I feel like he just kind of like paved a lot of potential for future artists that like actually, because this is sort of like music. It's obviously like any artist's outlet, but you can hear in his music that like if he didn't have his music, like he would probably like he probably would have did insane things. But like him having like this space to put all of his like personal like vices into and like express himself while
Yeah.
also just still making music to make hard music, you know what I mean? I just think all of that like did so much for like the future generation
Yeah, like
of like
if
niche artists, I
cuz
would
like
say.
yeah, I mean
Rap artists.
because like I think you're going like cuz like his like influences like in punk noise, like if he didn't bring that to the table in hip hop, maybe we wouldn't have a JPEG Mafia or
That's sort of exactly what I mean. Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, I mean definitely. Um yeah, like what do you think about so from Mr. Thug Isolation to Oblivion Access and then to like I guess what's the volcanic enemy something?
Yeah, even I'm kind of forgetting right now. It's like volcanic bird enemy and something. And the voiced concern. That's what it's
Yeah,
called.
like what do you think
That's
about like that like transition into like more like I guess like conscious like thoughts maybe? I would say like
Yeah. I feel like this is one of those things that's kind of like more up to interpretation because he's so reserved online. Like you don't even really know how he feels about like any of his music.
yeah.
But I think one thing that I will say is that he actually after he gained such a cult following from Mista Thug Isolation that he actually went through a period where he abandoned Lil Ugly Mane completely because like he felt like he felt like duffed by his fans, like he like smothered by his fans, like he was like uncomfortable with like the level of obsessiveness that a lot of his like fans were like
Yeah,
on and stuff.
because on the
And
last song on Oblivion Access, isn't it like it's like in like
he says like I'm not a dog, and then
or it's like
something like that.
it's like something like like saying to stop like analyzing or over analyzing like the things he's saying or something. Like I can pull up.
Mhm. But I will say, I think that Volcanic Bird Enemy is really telling. Like, I feel like, at least for me, based on like the general sound and variety in that album, it sort of feels like he's like come to like accept, like, I get maybe not this name in particular, but like maybe who he is as an artist or like maybe who he's become as a person and stuff, because a lot of the content on that album isn't like trying to do anything in particular. It's kind of just like making songs, you know what I mean? Like
It feels like it doesn't feel like a maybe to say like it's not like it doesn't feel like a Lil Ugly Mane album. It feels like a Travis Miller album. Like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
yeah, and I think like from that is it's like he's like taking off the mask.
Yeah,
I guess.
that's a good way of framing it.
And yeah, I like here it says what's it all mean? What's the under or what's he saying when he says it? What's the underlying topic? What's the motive in his message? Like, yeah,
Dude, that when this part is happening in the song and like you hear the drum beat in the background, this part is so good too.
Yeah, I love it. It's great. But yeah, kind of like saying like he's uncomfortable with like the obsession, as you were saying. Oh.
I knocked something over.
Yeah, it's okay. All right. What were you gonna say?
Was I saying something in particular?
I thought you were gonna say something.
Oh, what I was gonna say before, while it's on my mind, is about like his last album. Is I feel like we're talking about the transition between the three albums, and I think the transition to Oblivion Access, like, I think it almost feels like he like got better over time, and I feel like that shows in his music. You know what I mean? Because Oblivion Access was like, because like Mr. Thug Isolation has all of these like undertones and like underlying messages and double entendres of like stuff being hard and like it also just like being like a representation of like his mental illness or like how he's feeling or like etc. The second album feels like Oblivion Access just straight up feels like a cry for help, I'd say. Like, there's a lot of content on that album that is like crazy. Like Drain Counter is insane. Like at one point in that song, it's basically like nails on a chalkboard and like yeah, and then in the oh my gosh, what's it called? Volcanic Bird Enemy. That album is very like it almost feels like he didn't have even like a genre in mind. He kind of just made all sorts of beats. Like the first track on that album is just
yeah, like it almost
like,
feels like Mr. Thug Isolation is kind of like restraint a little bit.
yeah, like
probably because he was just like hanging around like that collective of people. I mean, not to say that's like bad, but that's just like what he was making at that time.
Yeah, and even like it's actually absurd to me that he just has a Denzel Curry feature on that.
It's a good one.
Album. Yeah, it's really good.
Twistin', yeah.
Have you heard any of their like original SoundCloud projects?
I have not. I've only really listened to
Zeltron.
I've only listened to like the wait from who? From Lil Ugly Mane or Denzel?
It's like an album Denzel's on that he helped produce here. Like he has it's like the first album where he has like producer credits on like Denzel Curry's songs.
Lil Ugly Mane?
Yeah. I was wrong when I said Zeltron. I was thinking of a song that they have called Zeltron, but yeah, Denzel, he has an album. It's basically like a Phonk rap album, and Lil Ugly Mane had a bit of a hand in that.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really cool. Well, it's less cool now, but when you listen to it in mind of it being like an internet rap album, it's pretty cool.
Wait, yeah, I see. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely check that out because I like Denzel Curry's stuff. So why not?
It's worth.
What were we talking about? We were saying prior to that, trying to think. Um,
This is what I meant when I was talking to you earlier when I said I was gonna pivot a lot because there's just like so much to talk.
okay,
about.
you want to pivot? Let's just do it. Might as
Yeah.
well.
I was just looking at some of the stuff you have on here. Oh, maybe were you thinking about when we were talking about like Ugly Mane versus Travis Miller?
Yeah, you want to talk about that one? Because it kind of goes into like. Wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say we could talk about that.
All right, let's talk about it. Like,
Did you have any like a specific topic in mind in regards to that, or like idea in mind?
sort of. Well, because we were kind of talking about that like before, like kind of like the character of
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
and like kind of like the transition. Like, I mean, we've been kind of describing it already, like the transition between like the mask that Travis Miller puts on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can talk about
Yeah.
like the themes maybe of Mr. Thug Isolation or
Yeah,
something.
that's I can definitely go to speak about many different themes in his music. I'd say firstly, I would say, or I guess a lot of people would say, because I've heard this being said before, and I totally agree that like this album was like, and you were actually talking about this before, and we kind of like got off track about it, but this album was like sort of like the birth of like modern funk in a way.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's like how the resurgence of funk on TikTok.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just not funk. It's just called that. But it's just not.
Really?
Like,
Okay, I did. Yeah, because it's just
not,
like a
like,
they're
the only thing that's similar is that it's a cowbell. Like that's like the only.
oh.
There are
Okay.
cowbells. That's the only. But like, have you listened to much DJ Smokey at all? That's like a good example.
I've heard. Yeah, I don't know really.
Yeah, he's a good example of like.
Oh wait,
somebody
he's like the chopped and screwed guy or DJ Screw.
Yeah, maybe I'm not sure, but another good example is like SpaceGhostPurrp, like because funk essentially like are you familiar with like drift funk?
Kind of, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, that's like that's like the Memphis style. Like you ever listen to Project Pat or like 3-6?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like that's like that style of production is basically like the essence of funk. And it kind of like it's man, I just have to say it sucks that it has kind of like just de-escalated into like brain rot. You know what I mean?
I mean,
it's not.
Yeah. I guess it's not. I mean, I don't know if it's like brain rot because like if it's just like the definition of what funk is now, I guess, is changing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't say it's like for the better, but I think I unironically do think that like some people do cool stuff with funk in the current day, but I'm just a sucker for like 3-6 style. And,
Yeah, I mean, when I listen to like the funk concept, I get just because I associate it with like a meme, like
yeah,
just...
it's more funny. It's hard to take seriously.
Yeah, like I can't. Yeah, because like I was like when I was listening to Mr. Thug Isolation, like because yeah, I can hear like the elements of like funk in the songs, and I'm like, yeah, I just start laughing. I don't know why. Yeah.
Yeah. The first, I'll say, I think the most like prevalent theme on the album is like nihilism. I think that's probably like the most consistent theme you hear. Like there's like at least a segment of lyrics that are like a take on his own nihilism, which are cool. Like there's one lyric where he says bodies in the river floating bloated from the seasons in, which is like,
Whoa.
That's pretty layered
Imagery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is really cool. And when he says like Like it's the mother effing lunatic creeping in your dreams again. It's basically like him calling himself a lunatic in a way, and
Mm,
that's sort of what I meant, how he takes that style of like, for example, like Eminem would like on Relapse, when he was like
yeah, that's
just
the
making songs on drugs, like that's kind of what he did, but except the goal was actually for him to portray a character. But that's like him putting like an ironic take on that style, where it's like he puts this imagery in your head when the underlying tone is actually like about his own
like yeah.
depression per se,
Mm.
and like how he feels about himself, and like existential rot in a way you could
Yeah,
word
like
it.
he talks about like he uses the character to talk about himself. Yeah, I see
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you mean. Yeah,
yeah. I don't know. I just could not draw the words for that parallel, but
yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah.
Um.
And continue.
Oh no, sorry.
Okay, you're good. I just like another theme that's really prevalent too is like he used specifically pollution and decay and like deterioration as like a metaphor for his own mind, which I think is really cool. And it's like another one of those things that isn't like in your face, like you aren't taking the lyrics as such and stuff.
Like you have to like read in between the lines.
And like for example, like there's one line that says like lung pollution from the chemicals that I done used to kill myself. It's like another one of those lines that's supposed to come across as edgy, but he's actually like saying that like in real life he has like issues, and he is literally like actively like killing himself with like
Mm.
smoking and different things, because like I said, this is like well before he was like clean or anything, or at least before he was like consistently clean, because like I said, I'm pretty sure he relapsed or had some sort of situation after this. I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's cool. Like he's not rapping about killing people. Like he's rapping about how he's passively like killing himself every day through like addiction and like self decay and stuff, which I think is like,
Yeah, and the
I'm just a
journalist
sucker for
yeah.
edgy stuff when it's done
Like
in a really cool way. You know what I mean? Like it's very
it's
creative.
not like being edgy just to like shock you or like
Yeah, exactly. Like the you're supposed to feel the initial shock from like the
initial like
shocking thing he says. Like the thing, like it's supposed to be like I guess like it's supposed to appear as like a surface level thing, and then the shock comes in like when you actually like tie all the different connections and meanings together and stuff.
yeah, true. Um yeah, let me see here.
Like I said, I have like a list of themes here. I don't know how long you want to talk about them. But...
We can do like I mean we can go as much as you like, I guess. Like the ones that you feel are very important.
No worries.
Well, because you said he was like yeah, this is like before he was like clean, and then so the song Wishmaster, I think he says like, or this is from a Reddit post, but I assume they're like they pulled this from an actual source, that he regrets making that song because he felt...
no, yeah. That's like that's super true. Sorry, I like totally cut you off there. My bad.
Yeah, and like yeah, he regrets like making, or he regrets that he made that song because he felt like it like glorified like drugs and stuff like that, and like made it like appealing, I guess, to do that stuff.
He actually made a Facebook post in 2018 saying that like he regretted making a song about codeine, which is like kind of like, you know, a direct like allude that, like because of like he had a couple of homies that died, like Lil Peep for example, like around the time he died he made that Facebook post, and like and how he like sort of glamorized hard drug usage, even though that wasn't like the intention of his music per se, because like I said, that was like the shocking aspect of it.
So wait, what year was that in? Sorry.
2018 is when he made that post. Yeah, it's like around 5-6 years after he dropped this album.
Yeah, and I guess like, cause you're saying he kind of like, after this album like people were like obsessed with him after this album.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like this is like the result of Mr. Thug Isolation in 2018, I guess.
Yeah. And yeah, because it it's pretty like ambiguous everything that like happened, like because he gained this like cult following and he enjoyed his following, like he appreciated his following. Then it got to a point where
It's too much.
he was like, this is too much for me. And then he was like, okay, I don't want this name anymore, because he even made the name as a joke. Like Lil Ugly Mane, like was him essentially trying to like make fun of rappers that use like Lil. I don't know if it's because it's like unoriginal, but that was like intention. Then he like tried to part ways with that name. Then obviously, you know, he didn't because he made Oblivion Access.
Yeah, it stuck with him.
Yeah, and then he dipped it again, and then he made
yeah, because isn't Oblivion Access, it was supposed to be the last Lil Ugly Mane project.
Yeah, and there are a lot of implications of that in the lyrics and stuff, which I think is so funny.
Yeah, and I like, why do you, I don't know, maybe you have an intro, like why do you think he kept it, or he kept Lil Ugly Mane for the 20, or like the Volcanic Enemy Bird and the Voice Concern?
You know, if I had to guess, I would think it's probably because that name is like something that like that was like the start of everything. And I think at a certain point, like it's probably hard to detach yourself from that, especially being like a creative mind and like being that witty, to where it's like, okay, like I made this name as a joke and then I hated it, but now that I'm like better in the future, this is kind of tough. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there was probably some sort of like appreciation, like in the end of it all, for like him and like how far he's come and like stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's that's how I would, what I would think.
Because I originally like I thought, because like maybe he just like accept that these things like just happened, and you know he doesn't want to like hide his like what actually happened, I guess.
Yeah, and yeah, that's very true. Like I think it's like, I think it's one of those things where it's like when you deal with the issues and struggles that he dealt with and you come out of it on the other side, it's like at a certain point you're gonna appreciate this like work of art that is like yourself, you know what I mean? Like I feel like you're not just gonna detach from that. Like it's basically like your like journey in audio, you know what I mean? And like I feel like it's, at least in that position, like he's a very odd guy, you know, so he could really be thinking anything.
Yeah,
like I could be totally wrong, you know
yeah, I mean, because like he just
he's
like
a weird guy.
He lets that happen. Yeah. You're saying how like on Instagram, like he's funny.
Dude, he used to schizo post all the time on Instagram stories. He hasn't posted in a while though, actually. I'm not too sure what's up with that, but
yeah, did he make or has he made any new music? I know there was a singles collection that he dropped after.
Yeah, I don't think he dropped anything since well, the last thing that I'm aware he dropped was Spill, which was just like a 2-song EP from 2023, I think. Let me check. He could actually have something under a different alias too. Who even knows? I don't know. But I think the last time he dropped was 2023. I think so.
Oh, we're looking it up.
I actually wanted to ask you what your favorite tracks on this album were.
My favorite tracks, so I would probably just say, I mean, the obvious one for me is Oh my gosh, I always just forget this song, but here, like, I mean, serious shit. Like the second song, that's obvious for me, but that I don't really want to talk about that one because it's already obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think, I mean, the first song I like Twistin', that one's good, and also Throw Them Guns, obviously. The one where he says like he's like a maniac killer or something, like murderer. Maniac murderer.
Like, yeah. I don't know. Is that on Maniac Drug Dealer? Is it that song?
Maybe. Yeah. And I also like Slick Rick. That's a good one too. So
Oh, Slick Rick's good. I like Cupful of Beetlejuice too. That's another banger.
And also that first the movement, the 12th movement, I like that one. I think it's really like interesting, like like I feel like it kind of it gives you like an image of what's to come and sort of like the darkness. So yeah, that
I also really like Alone in Suffering. Like, I think it's a really fitting interlude. Like, it's really short and sweet and like basic, but I think the transition from like you go Wishmaster and then you go Alone in Suffering and then you go I'm Lugubrious, like that's pretty like that's pretty crazy run.
Yeah. There's also some extra songs that, and you wanted to play an extra from the like bonus material.
I did, yeah. So this is like, I don't know. You ever see like the 3-sided tape?
Like the series you're saying?
There's like a bunch of tracks on it. I'll just link it to you quickly.
Yeah, do you want to play it and then we can fade into the song that you suggested? Maybe.
Which one did I suggest? Because I was talking about how he has, No Slack in My Mac.
Yeah. This one, No Slack in My Mac.
Yeah, and he has like on this, like the 3-sided tapes, he has one called Slack in My Mac, and that's like the original version of the song, and it's like boom bap. It's like, but then he like molded that boom bap song like with the same lyrics, like he like changed the BPM, he changed the tempo, like he changed like everything about the song just to make it like fit
the vibe
of Mista Thug Isolation. Like the songs are like stylistically like 100% different. It's like it's very cool.
That's cool. Like, and that shows his like mastery in production, that he can shape shift to what the soundscape requires for the album he's working on.
Yeah. Do you know who? I'm sure you know who Aesop Rock is, like, obviously.
Yeah. I haven't heard really much from him but I know he dropped an album this year.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I'll have to listen to it then. Yeah.
Yeah. My hopes were really low for that album and it was really good. And I'm very happy with it. But like what I was gonna say is, like, I don't know if you've seen like any recent pictures of him, but he just has this like huge gray beard and like long hair. And like Lil Ugly Mane also has that, and it's like they're both just like two like rap wizards, you know what I mean? Like he's like in that genre of old rap artist who still makes like out of this world new stuff.
Yeah, is there any new pictures of him? Well, yeah, he has no beard in these ones, but yeah.
Oh no, the beard was only for the that's the picture I was trying to show you. Is he had a beard like next to Denzel Curry, and like he had like it was like super scruffy, and it made him look like 10 years older. Wait,
which one? Wait, did we find that one?
No, but that's what I was saying, is like that one I was trying to find.
Oh wait, I didn't know this was Jam's profile picture. Okay. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, there's one. Yeah, Jam mentioned. Well, yeah, I don't really see. Yeah, maybe. I guess he isn't as online, so the pictures won't surface.
Yeah, no, it was just like the one. I'm assuming he normally doesn't have a beard, but that one photo, man. I need to find that. It's got to be somewhere on the internet.
Yeah, somewhere.
It's just such a funny photo.
Yeah. So where do we go with this?
You were gonna play. Well,
Yeah.
it all depends on which one you want to play. Are we playing both versions of the song?
You want to play both versions, or do you want to play, or you can pick which one?
I mean, I'm down to. We don't have to like listen to the full thing, but we
Yeah.
can play maybe like half of each, just so you can compare the stylistic differences.
All right, I'm down for that. All right, you want to play Slack? Let's do Slack in My Mac.
That
and-
song.
Oh, I also forgot to say, wow, I can't believe we didn't talk about, but Uneven Compromise. That one, that
Oh man, yeah, that's a
That-
crazy one.
yeah, that probably, if I re-listen to it again, because it's been kind of like 2 years since I've heard it, like that'd probably be my favorite one at that time. But yeah, it's a good one. Very dark.
Dude, that song, yeah, man. Like, that song is one of those songs. Well, you can like "Slack on My Mac" is another one of those songs that like is a little lyrically out of place on Mr. Thug Isolation, but that's because this is one of those songs he made where he's just like, I'm just gonna make like the toughest song, and like he just like hits really hard with like his punchlines and stuff.
Here, so I found this is from this 3-sided tape. So you just want to play like maybe a minute of it or something?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, let's do it.
Now we can listen to the same duration on the other song. You can compare them.
All right, let's do it.
Because have you heard this yet? Like, did you listen to it when I sent it?
I'm not. I don't recall if you sent it to me, but no, I did not. Unfortunately, sorry.
No, that's no. I'm that's
You're-
like the better outcome.
But yeah, we'll get my organic thoughts maybe. All right.
I got a lot of profits in my pocket, I can throw them to the sky. If you bitches care to drop it, yeah, I'm cocky, switch the topic, shopping rocks up in the project, treating pussies like they objects, you can never stop the progress. Powder is some vegetables, trap game exceptional, commas is some decimals, leaking out my gastrointestinal. Bitch, I'm a professional, bitch, I am invincible. X-Men guns catch me looking like the Sentinel. Flamethrower, fire, make a player melt. Steady, keep the product moving quick like a conveyor belt. You can't save yourself, praying for your savior's help. I'ma straight fillet you and display you on my favorite shelf. Ugly Mane, yeah, you see the chain. Yeah, you see them hoes flock to me, say my name. I'm in that Chevy thing, swinging, banging, running game. You can't even see me, fuck boy. We are not the same. I'm fly, I got money. There ain't no slack in my Mac, got gun.
Yeah,
Fade.
No, yeah, that was perfect.
That was actually good. Yeah, that was actually good.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't think that would fit at all if we just put the original one in Mr. Thug Isolation. It just like it's way too like I don't know, like gritty.
It's just like a snappy boom bap track.
Yeah.
Like it's it's so straightforward.
Yeah, there's not like I don't know. I feel like there has to be something extra in there to elevate
The
it.
one thing, yeah, I for me, I think that it's kind of like I think it's honestly because like the production is too like simple. It's not even simple. Like there's still like that horrorcore sample with like the creaking and then like the like horror movie like
voice.
dread sound effect and like like the voice and like all that. But then the rest of the beat itself, I feel like it isn't like it's less of a soundscape and like more of like a rap beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of. It's kind of just like there has to be things around it that make it. Oh,
It's just like more simple.
That's true. All right, and then we can play the same duration on, and then we can maybe compare them because I want to hear it
I'm
again.
down.
Yeah, motherfucker. Lil Ugly Mane, bitch.
I mean, immediate like the synthesizer
So-
thing. Like,
It's nasty. It's nasty.
and then the cowbell.
That's what I'm talking. This sample right now, like this is funk essentially. This is the funk that I was referring to. Like this exactly.
Yeah, I.
Like, just so different. After
Yeah.
20 seconds.
Like like immediately. I think it's just the like, whatever that like synthesizer or like I don't know. It's like the sound. I don't know. Yeah, it's like a synthesizer. I think.
It's like yeah. I'd say it's like a synthesizer. And like you see, he uses that same like creaking sample, but he like flips it and it's pitched higher. And it sounds complete, like it changes the vibe completely, and it's like the same noise. Like that's like,
Yeah.
he's nuts. He's nuts with it.
Oh wow. Okay. Maybe that was a good fade. But yeah.
Tell you after?
Yeah, that was good. Good effort. I that song is the bare bones track is just not even comparable in my opinion to this one.
Yeah. I think it depends on like what you're, because I think the other track is like a lot like, I think it's like more like hyper like / anxious in a way. So I think the vibe is cool in that way, but like
I think maybe it like changes like maybe meaning depending on like, because like with the bare bones track you're kind of like you kind of have to like focus really on, it's either the simple beat, which maybe you won't like, and maybe like the rapping like and like reading into it really hard or something. But like in this case, like there's kind of like a lot of things like going on that like you're only gonna get like the shocking stuff out of it because it's just like a lot of, you know, deep like production choices.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah, I get you. Yeah, like the first, like the original record like version of the song is like all about the punches. I feel like it's like it's like really in your face. But I feel like the second track like it like makes you it like I don't know, it I feel like it focuses a lot more on the soundscape. I think probably due to the fact that the lyrics are like technically more throwaway because they were made like before the album. You know what I mean? But I also think at the same time it's like a crazy creative decision because it changes the vibe completely, which I think like it just fits super well. Like he's such a genius, man. Like he's so good. He's like, yo, these lyrics are too hard. Like I need to put this on my album, and then he just like did and made it perfect.
Yeah. So I guess like because I think we're kind of wrapping up our thoughts a little bit. Who you're kind of name dropping some like artists, and for me it's like I need to do my like homework and like, you know, listen to this stuff. So I want to ask like what would you like recommend if this was like an album that you've never really, or like you never heard anything outside of it, and this is like your first like experience with this like genre of like Memphis rap, Phonk stuff. Like what would you recommend? Like maybe specifically an album for the audience and me to listen to?
Well, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but I think a lot of them are like some of the artists I mentioned earlier are
but maybe like a specific
immediate...
album in mind.
A specific album?
Yeah.
Well, I have to make sure I got the name of this album right because I always just call it the Chris Travis album. Yeah, okay. It's Codeine and Pizza by Chris Travis. That one's like a late 90s what would you even consider it? It's like the beats are super like swampy. It's like there's a lot of funky elements to it. Yeah, I'd say Codeine and Pizza is a big one. I'd listen to. There are like a lot of DJ Smokey albums that are good. Which one would I recommend specifically? I have to recommend something from DJ Smokey too.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, Only Two Left Alive. That is a pretty good album. It's like mainly for the production, but it's like he dropped it during COVID, and it super encapsulates that like funk sort of like psychedelic hip hop style.
Can you maybe link it in the music channel so I can put in the description?
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess, yeah. Do we have any other like thoughts you want to throw out maybe in your notes? Or you think we touched on what we can? Oh.
It's just not. Sorry, I just like was not letting me share the album, but it's just like wasn't copying the link. We're good now.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. I'd say actually like something you can directly, like, not directly, but if you like Lil Ugly Mane's music, you'd probably like anything by Death Grips because they're
yeah, Death Grips is
amazing. I'd say if you're not tapped into Death Grips, I know that's like they're pretty well known at this point, but
a lot of people are tapped in, yeah. But
I think they have a lot of slept on albums. I think No Love Deep Web is like hella slept on.
Oh, that's like if we did an episode, that would be a good one to do an episode on. That one has a lot of
we could run that.
Yeah. Well, Death Grips. I mean, yeah, their music and Travis Miller's stuff are like really in your face type of like, or like just shocking.
Very similar influences, like you can definitely hear in both, like,
but the difference is
especially punk.
Yeah, and the difference is like Death Grips are just really like there's a lot of like energy in a Death Grips song, but it's really yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I actually did write some albums. I was like a little on the spot when you asked me for some recommendations.
That's all good. It's all good.
I had a few in my notes. So if you want to go, I'll just send the links to all of these after we're done. But because I'm gonna say like a decent bit, but listen to Blackland. Is it remix or Redux? I don't know, but it's like Blackland by SpaceGhostPurrp. That's like the funk revival album. Tommy Wright, Runnin and Gunin is a good one. Mystic Styles by 3 6 Mafia is a good one. And as for Suicide Boys, it's actually like one of their newer tapes, funny enough, that I would say you can like draw a lot of parallels, maybe not parallels, but a lot of similar sounds and like stylistic choices is My Liver Will Handle What My Heart Can't by Suicide Boys. That's a good one. For Death Grips, I think the most similar Death Grips album to like this style of music is probably Ex-Military, like their first tape.
Yeah, that one's like a really sample heavy one.
Yeah, it's super, like, Beware, like the first track, that is a crazy track. That's a crazy one.
Yeah, that one.
If you want a deep cut, there's this album called Club God by Beat King. That's his name. That's a super slept on one though. There's also DJ Young Vamp. You can listen to any by him. But yeah, I'll send you the links for like all of these. And then...
All right, gotcha.
Yeah,
and I'll put them in the description.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any like overall thoughts you want to give on the album? Anything that you like about it that stands out?
I mean, I I think this one is a good one. It's not like as I said, it's not my favorite one. I think we said this at the Melee local. It's not my favorite one. Like
Yeah.
Oblivion Access is my favorite because it just like it combines like the edge of Mr. Thug Isolation with the stuff I really like appreciate, like noise and stuff, like and like a lot of the noise parts are like very like they're like sparse in the track listing. Like there's interludes that are pretty noisy, and so I like that one. It's also the content is it's as dark but also like without like the much so the mask that he kind of hides himself in Mr. Thug Isolation. I guess, yeah. But yeah, that's probably my favorite one. I would probably recommend that one if you want to go deeper into Lil Ugly Mane. But yeah,
That is a good one. Definitely a good one.
but yeah, for episodes, I guess, so we might be doing some Japanese stuff soon. People want to do that, and we're getting them on. And we're also doing Black Dice
Black Dice, yeah.
On July, somewhere around July 22, where my birthday is, because that episode I want to reserve. It's a really special one for me.
Yeah, you're the Black Dice. Even your name on Melee Online is Black Dice. Eh?
A really good album, yeah, or band, I guess, because that's yeah. But yeah,
that's like a crazy deep cut though of like, I don't know, like they're like really not known. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, Black Dice, I think their influence is seen in like I don't know if you know the band Animal Collective.
Oh yeah, of course Animal Collective is I love them.
Yeah,
as well.
like they're like their stuff like is like very like they're both like very similar, and I mean they also like hung out with each other a lot, so it's obvious.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah,
and like even I feel like for their style of music, like them being, because they're like what, like they're like early 2000s ish.
Yeah,
and like that style is pretty like it's they were like tapped in, you know, they were like,
yeah, they
were making noise, dude. They were making noise.
Yeah, especially the early stuff. It's like very like unhinged, like it's unbearable or unbearable almost. Their early Animal Collective stuff.
Yeah, dude, what's that one song? Because I was talking to I think I was talking to Fiji about this maybe, but what's that one album, like Creature Comforts? It has a song on it called Island, and it's like it always makes me, it like made me laugh when I heard it.
Oh yeah, that's the Nature one, the Nature album. I mean, all of them are kind of like Beaches and Canyons. That's that's the album we're gonna do. That's also Nature.
Because it's really cool, but like some like at the time I heard it, I just like thought it sounded like so silly, but I wasn't like as trapped in.
Oh wait, are you you're a Black Dice fan? I didn't.
Well, I've just like listened to some stuff because I mentioned to, because like Fiji's like into like the same type of stuff that you are, and I believe I was talking to him. I could have been talking to somebody else, but I believe I brought him. I brought up to him that you like were fucking with Black Dice, and I asked him if they were good, and then I listened to some, and I did enjoy a lot of what I heard. I listened to a few albums because I feel like I feel like their albums are like not the longest.
Wait. Let's end this and then we can talk about Black Dice. I don't want to.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. Next episode will come surely soon. I don't know, the schedules and stuff. It's hard. So, well, next week probably we'll get something out. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and thank you for showing up, talking about a great artist.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Yep, and
I do love him.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys soon. See ya.